we're going to have an opportunity to use our Lord's Katana right now, which is going to be super fun, because this is the first time we've actually used this in a proper battle that isn't anything to do with a... what? Did you see that? Wait a minute. Where's my... oh, there it is. Okay, I thought I dropped it for a second. Did you see that? Why was I running at him with fists out? Hello and welcome back to the Ronin, and we're going to be fighting that very large Battanian army that we spotted in the previous episode. Now, you may see that they have dramatically lost about 400 or so units. There's a reason for that, of course, because they threw their bodies against the hardened walls of Turby Castle. And personally, I would have loved to have, you know, kind of like just got them back and forth, and kind of, you know, done that thing that we tend to do, or that players tend to do when they want to try and weaken a larger army by making them move back and forth between two different fiefs, because they obviously do not want to get into a battle with our forces at the same time as the forces in the garrison, or whatever the case may be. And, well, I tried to do that, but unfortunately the terrain around this area is really difficult to navigate, and I got way too close multiple times to getting engaged upon by this army. And you can imagine how much more of a combat strength advantage they would have, because just look at the advantage right now. They've actually got a pretty good one. And this is with them already having lost 400 or so units. So I can only imagine how much it would be if I didn't adequately stay away from them and just let them weaken themselves basically on the garrison in Turby Castle. That's pretty much all I could do, to be honest. Unfortunately, I really did not want to let Turby Castle get taken, but obviously if we are able to do so, I would love to be able to take this army down, take Turby Castle back. I don't think it's going to be that difficult for us to do. Going to tell my infantry to charge in right here, and I think my archers are actually doing a pretty decent job so far as well. As you can see, we are quite clearly doing massive damage. Oh, hello. Oh, wait a minute. I actually thought there was going to be some kind of jump there, but the horse is completely stuck to the ground if you don't press the jump key. That's actually hilarious. But yeah, I'm actually pleased for that, because I thought the momentum was going to carry us right up that slope and then just launch us into the air like some kind of crazy horse astronaut. But yeah, that's not going to happen this time around, thankfully. I can only imagine Jetpack Horse TM. Yes, there we go. That's my new channel name. Fantastic. Yes. Can you imagine? Can you actually imagine? Yeah, there's probably someone out there called that. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's see if we can... oh, that was a nice hit. I absolutely love using this weapon. I'm actually really, really happy that we were able to find this. And it might be something, I don't know. It might be something a little bit inspirational as well, because if you think about it, using something like this kind of gives me a bit of hope, maybe, that I can create something. Because bear in mind that obviously all this time I've been using two crafted weapons. I don't know whether you realize that. I'm not entirely sure if everyone realizes that I was actually using my own crafted weaponry up until the last one or two episodes, where we actually found some new weapons. And yeah, so obviously I had created that wonderful, wonderful polearm that is absolutely awful as a one-handed weapon. But as a two-handed, oh yeah, it is absolutely amazing. It is so, so good. And does massive damage, of course. I mean, that's what you want a weapon to do, isn't it? You want a weapon to do massive damage. But obviously it is a little bit unwieldy. You can't use it with thrusting attacks or anything like that. Well, can you? Can you actually use it? No, I don't think you can use it with thrusting attacks, but still, the point is that is, in my opinion, very, very nice to have the ability to just switch between, as I was talking about in the previous episode. The versatility, just look at the versatility that I have here. Look at that. I'm literally able to just switch, you know, on a dime, pretty much, and just be like, oh, I feel like slashing now, or I feel like thrusting. and then literally just do exactly that. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, I'm just going to tell everyone to charge in now so that my archers can get into effective range if need be. Not entirely sure what's going on with my with the small little frame rate issues that I'm having right here. I have no idea why that is happening, so I do apologize about that. I'm not entirely sure why, but otherwise, I'm thinking maybe what we'll do. I don't really want to craft a katana because I feel like this Lord's katana is really nice. It's basically what I've been looking for this entire time. It's so nice. It's so well statted. And I could do something, you know, I could do something like that. I could go into the smithy and see if I can maybe create something that's going to be worthwhile, but I don't know how long that's going to take. Do you know what I mean? Usually I'll spend, I don't know, half an hour or something, maybe 40 minutes in the smithy, just literally trying out things and just seeing whether they actually turn out relatively good or not. And some of the time it works, like for example with our previous polearm, that was really, really nicely done. I feel like it was nicely done at least. I mean, some people said it was way too overpowered, and yeah, okay, fine. I can definitely see how, you know, some people might think that because it is very strong. I mean, you could literally hit anyone with that and it would deal fatal damage. So there's obviously no real chance for the enemy to kind of have any kind of counterplay there at all. However, just look at what we've got going on here. You know, if you thrust at someone with a couch lance attack right here, they're probably dead. There's pretty much nothing they can do about that. So it's kind of a similar thing, but I would definitely say that this requires a little bit more skill than the slashing polearm, because it's just so long and the reach is so crazy good that you pretty much can't fail for the most part, which definitely is something to bear in mind. Anyway, we're going to be taking every single one of these people prisoner, as many as we possibly can. I actually had a bit of an idea that maybe what I would do is, well, let them go. You know, I actually thought maybe letting them go might make sense sometime. However, then I thought, well, how much relation am I actually going to get from doing that? And then it kind of dawned on me that it's probably going to take multiple captures, multiple releases of these enemy vassals to make any difference whatsoever to their overall opinion of us, shall we say. No, we lost someone. We lost someone. Okay, well, I guess that's actually not that bad. Because he actually wasn't a member. Yeah, he wasn't actually a leader of our party, which is actually kind of hilarious. Because usually, I mean, he was a member of our party, but he wasn't a leader of troops. That's what I mean to say. Alright, so there's 155 units in here. This should be relatively simple if I can just get a bunch of trebuchets up and all that stuff. But what I'm going to do is, after I take Turby Castle back, I'm going to head over to Osterkin real quick. Hopefully there are going to be some people in the garrison, in the tavern there that I'll be able to possibly recruit. And then I may indeed end up making my way back to my nearest possible fief, which I assume is probably going to be Epicrotia. Not a big fan of going all the way back there. It is going to leave Turby Castle and Osterkin extremely lightly defended. There's really not much I can do about that, though, unfortunately. I would love to be able to, you know, do something here, like something a little bit more permanent or a little bit more final to rid the area of the Battanian Menace, but, well, unfortunately, we can't always get what we want, can we? So, yes, I'm going to just have to leave it the way it is, and Turby Castle will just have to make do with what they have at the moment. Yeah, that is not mine. Yeah, I was just double-checking to make sure that it's not mine. But yeah, Epicrotia, as you can see, is massively far away. Sargot is not even mine either, and there is a Vlandian army right there. Alright, I'm going to have to go and fight this Vlandian army. This is very... it's starting to get to a point where I don't know whether I can even do this. Because, oh, never mind. They actually have 100 recruits, 158 footmen, and they only have 27 Vlandian sharpshooters. Their combat strength is absolutely abysmal. And personally, I don't think they can really do much against us. Oh, look at that. Leadership finally leveled up to 250. Now we have 0 learning rate, because obviously I need to get another point in focus points. Another focus point, shall we say, to put in that. Add 3 focus points to 3 random clan members when you get this perk. Okay. +1 companion. Each tier 6 troop increases party battle morale by 1, up to 10 at the start of battle. That is actually kind of useful. In my opinion, that feels much more useful than the other one. So I'm going to take that. And maybe not the companion increase. I mean, in the base game, yeah, I could definitely see that companion increase is definitely going to make a bit of a difference. But as I'm using Bannerlord tweaks, it doesn't really make too much of an effect. Okay, I'm going to give this to Yumiko, actually, because Enna and Ammonon, they both have a whole bunch of fiefs, and I don't know about Yumiko, so we might as well just give it to her for once, and then we'll see what these guys are planning on. Let's see. They're going to try and take Turby Castle, I mean, obviously, but I'm going to just try and play for time here. Oh, they're actually... Yeah, I know why they're traveling to Rovolt right now. They are running out of food. I believe they are running out of food. Let me see if I can... Yes. Oh, yes. Hello there. I just purchased all the food here. What are you going to do now? What do you bet they're going to do? Yep. They're just completely giving up. And they are now besieging Turby Castle. And now they are going back to Rovolt. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Generally, if you're nearby to the thing that they want to besiege, they're more than likely not going to do that unless they believe they can defeat you in battle, which is obviously, well, some of the time definitely the case. They would probably be able to defeat me if I had about 300 units or something like that. If they had double the amount, then they would probably be able to do that. Oh no, this is absolutely terrible. Okay. Yeah, we might have some issues here. As you can see, my cavalry are having some... Really? Yes, my cavalry are having some great problems here as they are falling off the cliffs in every single angle. Oh, absolutely terrible. Anyway, this, I gotta say, is probably one of my least favorite map sets that the game has available. Not because I feel like the environment is bad or because the scenery is bad or anything like that, but it is purely from a functional standpoint. If you have a battle size and indeed 2 armies that can fill out that battle size adequately enough, so a battle size that's quite large, then you're always going to get units spawning in really weird places. And obviously that's going to result in a couple of unnecessary deaths, and it's just going to be kind of a farce for the most part. So yeah, anyway, hopefully I'm going to be able to get a couple of... Oh, look at that! A headshot! What? How was I able to get a headshot right there? I have no clue. That was actually super nice. Oh, look at that. I got another hit. My riding skill is increasing like no one's business. I like it. Alright, let's just move these guys into formation right here. We're going to put my archers into a loose formation as well. We're going to get the cavalry and the horse archers to come over here as well. Hopefully they're going to do a decent job of maneuvering around here. Bear in mind that they are obviously probably... This is probably one of the worst maps for them as well, with the exception of a map where there's just way too much in terms of scenery and objects and environmental hazards and stuff like that. And bear in mind that if we are able to defeat this Vlandian army, we have a very good chance to see the bound crossbow, which is what I'm still looking for. I am literally still looking for that weapon. I'm trying to be a little bit careful here by zigzagging a little. Okay, let's just move them closer. I mean, look at this. I have literally told my archers to go into a loose formation, which obviously means for them to spread out. And just look at how they're spread out. They literally go from one edge of the valley to the next, which is rather silly. But, you know, if that's how it has to be, then that's how it has to be. Let's see if I can get a little bit more riding skill. I want to try and level up my riding to 200 if at all possible. As you can see, I'm gaining 12 1,000 riding skill experience for what I'm capable of doing here. If you're traveling relatively quickly, by the way, that seems to make the most difference in how much experience you can gain. Anyway, let's just tell these guys to charge in, and then we're going to be all good, because most of the enemy are indeed recruits, and they're not really going to be able to do too much to us in that regard. Oh, that was a nice hit on the enemy vassal. Okay, we've got to be careful here. Vlandians do tend to favor their pikes and polearms and things like that, so we definitely do not want to get skewered on the end of one of those. Oh, no, I don't have a shield, but, you know, I can just try and spam the block button and see whether something happens in all kinds of different directions. Make sure that I generally won't die. Oh, no! He's thrusting. Oh, he's got... No, never mind. Okay. Yeah, my reaction time is really good, as you can no doubt tell. Yes, I have the reaction time of... I don't even know. A very strong glue, potentially? Yeah, that's probably it. Ah. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. These guys are so incredibly good at stopping cavalry, and it's such a terrible map for cavalry itself. It really makes things very, very uncomfortable. But this is going to be the last army that we will fight in this area before I head back to friendly territory, or try to head back to friendly territory at the very least. Do you think I'm actually going to achieve victory here? Yeah, we are going to achieve victory, but we are losing a huge amount of units in the process. I can only hope that we don't lose any of our additional clan members. That would be pretty bad, actually. But Egan, as you can see right there, has leveled up his tactics skill quite nicely in the process of me being killed. So I guess that's decent enough. Anyway, let's just continue taking people prisoner. Let's take a look at the loot. Cross your fingers for bound crossbow. No. Just a heavy crossbow and a light crossbow. That's kind of unfortunate, but a good amount of food. Thank you very much. I will definitely take all of that. Oh yes, that is going to be very, very useful for us indeed. No one actually ended up dying there, which is quite nice. And we can now make our way back. Ah, hello there. Wait a minute. There's actually an army that is going to be forming here relatively soon. I would like to try and eliminate them as fast as possible. Now, this is indeed the problem. I'm not actually able to do anything here for myself because I am way too injured. So I'm going to have to auto-resolve against these people. I would have liked to have gone in there, but as you could no doubt tell, we didn't really suffer too many casualties anyway. So it's not that big a deal, at least I hope not. It might very well come back to bite us in just a moment, because if I don't have enough people to sort of ward off the smaller vassals, they can grow very bold indeed, and they can ambush you at a moment's notice very quickly, and then overpower you with the sheer numbers that they have. But thankfully, it seems like that is not happening right now. I'd like to take this guy down. He's usually a leader of armies, so I wouldn't mind. Oh, wow, look at this. Wow. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to beat the Battanians right now, to be honest. I guess the one thing that I can do is just be methodical about how I capture their territory. That's the only thing I can really think of to do, because initially I wanted to try and make peace with them. And you can see... yeah, I'm not going to pay 13,000. I mean, really, why would I pay 13,000? I could make peace with Vlandia. I could receive 6,000 tribute per day, which is actually really good. So maybe that's something that I should do, and then I should just focus on the Battanians. I mean, let me actually just take a quick look at the map. Because how is... yeah, Vlandia is pretty large still, you see. That's the main problem here. And I would like to be able to reduce... I mean, look at Battania's territory. It's pretty significant. Alright, okay. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Because generally I'm not going to be fighting Vlandia that often anymore. And they're probably going to try and take back Osterkern and Turby Castle and all that stuff. If the Battanians don't get there first, that is. So I'm actually going to try and make peace. Yep. And we're going to be getting a massive amount of money in the process. We're going to be getting 6,000 per day, which is actually kind of amazing. I mean, obviously this is not really good for me, because I'm, well, as you can quite clearly see, I am at 20 million right now, and I have not had any need for it. See, now that's also something that I feel needs maybe a little bit of balancing. I obviously don't know whether they've balanced that in future versions, because I'm a little bit behind with this particular series at the moment, because, well, obviously upgrading or updating the game version is probably going to be ill-advised for a variety of reasons for me specifically. Yeah, so generally that's, you know, but who knows? Maybe they have done something about that. I'm just going to take a quick look. Oh, she's really good. Let's just see. I'm looking for people that have decent leadership potentially, or just generally have people that are really good. She is really good, that one. This one has engineering, might be useful. Not entirely sure. I'm gonna maybe ransom all my prisoners, or wait a minute, I need to go into the dungeon first. Place all of those in there. Can't place this guy in there for some reason, but yeah, that's just a well-known bug of some kind. Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Oh yes, I will murder you immediately. Thank you. There we are. Take her down. There we are. Okay, great. Okay, so let's just take her prisoner as well. Okay, so let's do a little bit of reconnaissance then, shall we? Because what I would like to do before I start building up an army is I would like to actually decide where we're going to go, because I can launch an attack from pretty much anywhere along this line here. Phykeon, Saniopa, or Epicrotia seem to be the best places to launch attacks from, because they're obviously towns. Epicrotia, for me specifically, is going to make me very, very strong in retrieving reinforcements and stuff like that. Like, for example, I could probably take Gersagos Castle without too many difficulties, but then what am I going to do after that? Going over to Rote? Maybe I could do that. Or I could go over to Ataconia Castle. Or I could just generally take fiefs along this line right here. I mean, that's the problem. I don't really have any way of really stopping the tide or the flood of Battanian units coming into our territory and attempting to besiege and indeed take things back. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look around, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, we have a slight interesting development coming up here. Now, we have a number of Battanian vassals very, very close to us right here, and I obviously don't really care about these guys too much. I have tried to resupply my own army quite well, as you can see right here. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough units for this guy particularly. I didn't really want to give him a handful of tier 2 and tier 3 units. I mean, I guess they could level up, but I didn't really want to go above 1,000, really. For no real reason, just to have a number to stop at, basically. But anyway, we are now surrounded by Battanians, and I have constructed a number of trebuchets, as you can no doubt see. And my plan is to basically just take Cranarog Castle, see how many people I'm able to draw out here. As you can see, they are now starting to go in against us. So I will be leading the assault. I was not planning on taking down the walls here, just bear that in mind. That was not the plan. The plan was to go in here and take this in the old school, old-fashioned way that we used to do things in Warband. And yeah, I think it should work quite nicely. The only unfortunate thing about this is that it does take a little bit of time for the battering ram to reach the front gates, and that's the main issue here. The battering ram has a massive, massive distance to cover before it's even able to get to the walls. The siege towers, on the other hand, they don't have so much of a way to go, so we should have a slightly easier time of getting onto the battlements rather than going into the central courtyard. But obviously, the enemy is already significantly diminished from the varieties of different sieges that have gone on here in the past. They only had about 300 defenders here, so we should be in pretty high spirits about this, to be fair. Anyway, I'm going to try and see if I can maybe murder this guy. Can we get him? I think he died, actually. I think he got killed. Yeah, I think he did. Wow, that's actually kind of impressive. That is pretty impressive. I did not think anyone was actually able to hit him from there, considering he's half hidden by the ballista itself and the walls and all that stuff. Anyway, we have a number of trebuchets obviously still active here, so I'm very much hoping that they're going to be kind of accurate, at least a little bit, and maybe take out a couple of enemies. I'm actually kind of a bit weirded out by the fact that there aren't any people here. I mean, do you see any defenders right now? I see none. Why is that? There are... I mean, there's not that many people actually on the battlefield right now, but that is neither here nor there, because they technically should be defending the weak points of their defense, and they're not doing that, so it's a bit weird. Not entirely sure. I guess they are mostly congregating around the central gate. That is more than likely it. And maybe operating... Yeah, as you can see, they are definitely operating the siege equipment, which is not really doing that much. Doesn't seem to have hit anyone so far, which is actually kind of amazing. Anyway, I'm actually going to jump on this ahead of time. Can I not do that? There we go. Thank you very much. I was actually thinking that I wouldn't be able to do that, but it seems like maybe it needed to stop first, or maybe I just was in the wrong position or something like that. Anyway, we're going to have an opportunity to use our Lord's Katana right now, which is going to be super fun, because this is the first time we've actually used this in a proper battle that isn't anything to do with a... what? Did you see that? Wait a minute. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Okay, I thought I dropped it for a second. Did you see that? Why was I running at him with fists out? I have no clue. Well, that was interesting. Okay, where are my friends, by the way? Because I was actually hoping I would have a couple of people to help me out here. Kind of strange. Okay, wait a minute. Get him. Get him. Yes, thank you. There we go. Very good. Murder. The murder must begin here. And they will not cross this line that I have now formed imaginarily in my head, because if they cross it, you won't know. They crossed it. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Oh, wait. Take out that guy. Yes, the Falksmen. They deal so much damage that it's a really good idea to get them out of the way really fast. Let's see if we can maybe... What are they actually doing here? Look at this. Are they okay? They seem to have had some kind of spell cast on them in some way or another, because they seem to just literally be standing here not doing anything of note. Okay, wait a minute. Hello, sir. Goodbye. Okay. This is really strange. I have no idea what's going on here. I'm going to tell my people to charge in now. Just because... Okay, he's dead. He's dead. Okay. This is a... I don't know if this is an extremely weird experience. I have no clue what is going on in these guys' minds at all. They seem to literally be extremely passive. They're not fighting with the vigor and the bloodthirst in their eyes that I know them to have normally. Look at this. Very weird, right? Have you ever come across this? If you play the game, have you ever come across this kind of thing? Because I don't think in all my hours playing, and in all the series that I've made so far, I don't think I've ever seen the AI be this weird when it comes to their behavior. And not in Bannerlord, at least. I've seen that happen in Warband very, very often, because this is generally what Warband AI is like. Sometimes Warband AI is super, like, on point, really sharp, and they're going to be able to murder you, you know, just from looking at you. But other times, they basically just stand there and, you know, don't really know you're there, which is kind of realistic sometimes. If you're sneaking up on them from behind, then of course you're going to think, you know, sure, then they might not see you. But I've never seen Bannerlord AI do this. Very weird. Alright. Maybe it's just like a morale problem. It could be just because they know that they are so incredibly outnumbered that they really just can't do anything. It might very well just be that. Anyway, there you go. There's a nice victory for us. Obviously, we're not going to have any expectation for the bound crossbow any further. Not until the Vlandians decide to declare... No! Are you serious, Nolden? Why did you... Oh no, he's gonna get killed, isn't he? Okay, yeah, his troops are gonna get killed out there. I can't do anything about that though, because if I head out there right now, this is a pretty significant army of Battanians. Oh? What? They are all running away from... what? From a party that has 193 in it? They just let me pick those guys up. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's a good time as any to end this episode off here. That will be it for this episode. I'm on an extremely weird note. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.